Do it.
Good morning, everyone, to Marketing Matters. This is Landmark Title's weekly webinar where we bring you the best in the marketing business to help you become the best marketing your real estate business. This is our 30-minute segment. We give you just quick insider information into different ways to market, target your audience. We bring in top producers and industry experts, as well as our marketing team here at Landmark Title. Today, we are joined with Sanchez. He is a digital marketer. He does the full gamut. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Sanchez through BNI, through my business networking group, and having a quick little one-to-one. I mean, we probably could have had hours of conversation because y'all know how much I geek out on video and digital marketing. And he had some amazing tips when the two of us met. So I'm excited to get him on Marketing Matters today. And Sanchez, what have you got for us?
All right. Well, thanks for having me on here. It's a great introduction. Today we're going to be talking about pretty much YouTube, and specifically because I try to sit down and think about some of the biggest things that business owners or even marketers struggle with. And that one of those things is ads, and then also the power of creating an organic platform as well. And I think that's definitely overlooked. So I think having an organic profile or platform is probably the most important thing that's definitely overlooked, but it's also kind of the most boring too. So we're going to start with the meat and the potatoes that everybody likes, is the paid ads, which is, that's kind of what gets you the fast money, But I don't know, should we start about talking about maybe, because I specialize mostly in YouTube marketing. So should we talk about maybe why YouTube is important for business owners?
Yes, like I said, I love video marketing. Everybody knows I push video marketing big time. So I think a lot of people, a lot of agents at this point in time, they've started creating a little bit of video content here and there. We've talked about YouTube before, but yes, let's highlight why it's not only so imperative to set up a YouTube, but how easy it is to go ahead and just get it set up. It's free.
Yeah. It's free, just like most social media platforms. The thing about YouTube, and I think by now a lot of people know this, but still not everybody does. Google owns YouTube. So YouTube's essentially a search engine pretty much the same as Google. So, I mean, you can look at your daily lives or anybody else that you may know. The first time you have a problem or you don't know anything about something that you're trying to figure out, what do?
You Google it.
You Google it, So let's say how to drill a hole in the wall. You can Google that right now, and I assure you there will be a YouTube video that pops up in the search results. Anything else? How to fix this with my phone? Which Mac computer is the best computer to buy? All those situations. The same thing applies for business owners as well. Whatever that you offer as a service or as a product, people are searching for the solutions that your product or your service solves. So when people are coming to search for those things, it's imperative that you have content revolving around whatever your business or whatever products or services that your business offers. Because if you're talking about, those problems and people are searching for those problems, then that directs those people directly to your YouTube channel, which is essentially your own show. So when you have viewers coming there to view your content, you can then go and stream them to, your website to then further help them. Or, even if they don't necessarily go to your website, you still get the views, perhaps maybe a subscription to then come back and then put another video in their face that might help them, whatever the case may be. But the options are pretty much limitless. It's just, I always say this, like, if there's people in this area, if there's people who are searching for a certain topic, you want to be in that, like, you want to position yourself to be in that room because there's other people in that room. And if you're not in that room, then you're missing out on the opportunity to be able to, sell your brand or your product or your services. And the other part that's also, and this is something that, I always have to explain to a lot of business owners, I don't think people really understand how big YouTube really is. It's not because there was a hairstylist one time, and I'm talking to her. This was a couple years ago. I'm talking to her. I'm like, hey, like you should start a YouTube channel talking about like natural beaded robes, like how that whole process works for doing hair extensions. She's like, well, I don't know how. We're in Indiana, by the way. She's like, I don't know how somebody in California can, are they going to fly all the way out here? I'm like, well, they could. Yes, that's also possible. But you have to think bigger than that. Like, okay, what other things do you sell as a hairstylist that, they might buy from you just because they like the type of video content that you make? So maybe there's a certain type of shampoo that you get affiliate commissions off of for selling, right? Now, if you have 100,000 people watching your videos, and you just have 2% of those people who buy your, shampoo that you sell, you get that affiliate commission. That's essentially you making money off of somebody who lives in California off of you doing hair extensions or talking about hair extensions. So those are just some simple things of why I think YouTube is very important. And I think a lot of people definitely overlook like the power of YouTube, because people go to YouTube. Of course, people go to YouTube to watch like entertaining videos as well. But the main primary focus of YouTube, people go there to search for stuff. They search how to fix their problems.
Yeah. What did we do? How do we fix things before YouTube?
I don't know. That's a good question. That is really a good question. I think because Google was still around before YouTube. So I'm assuming, people were still able to Google it, maybe word of mouth or something. I don't know, but it sounds like a hard time.
Well, so-and-so, because so-and-so knows so-and-so who can tell you how to fix this.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, something like that. It's definitely made things a lot easier now, having, YouTube, and just there's so much that you can learn from there, and as a business owner, as somebody who's like a professional in what you do, I think you should really take advantage of being able to educate your customers, because even me, shooting videos for people at times, like some people just don't understand some things about video, what goes into a video or how videos can help them, and then simply just starting a YouTube channel or even just making videos talking about the topics that people are searching for. And we're going to get more into that as we talk about actually creating organic content and running the ads too. But before we move on, I was saying, I wanted to say, I don't think YouTube, well, I do think YouTube is better than Facebook and Instagram, but I think the thing that sets, they're all really great, but I think the thing that sets YouTube apart from Facebook and Instagram is that people aren't going to Instagram and Facebook to search how to fix their problems. So when you're running ads to people, not to say that they won't click or that you can't make tons of money. People have done that. But again, like I think you have a much better time. Like if people are actually searching for that and you put your content there, then it's perfect. So you don't have to worry about, I'm just here to get entertained. And then you're like, hey, I want to teach you about this or whatever. Like it can work. Like I said, I just think YouTube is better. So does that all make sense? I know I talk a lot.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, no, it really does. It really does. And YouTube is its own standalone, really. A lot of times, we see people sharing content back and forth, posting a YouTube video on Facebook. However, we all know that it doesn't get as many click-throughs, it doesn't get as much viewership. So, you can share the content back and forth, but I like that you highlighted it. Really, YouTube is its very own thing, and people are going there with specific needs. Facebook, Instagram, most of the time, that's just entertainment for us. Now, businesses do run ads on Facebook and Instagram, but these are consumables usually. These are consumer products. So you in real estate are your product. These houses, they pretty much right now in our market, they sell themselves. And the really cool thing about selling houses is it's one of the only products out there that you can sell multiple times. And not only does it retain its value, but it also increases value. So really what you are is your product. And I think that it is really great to think about YouTube from that perspective and doing videos on YouTube. And there's a whole plethora of videos. We hear all the time, people don't like being on camera. We don't necessarily have to be on camera to create videos and to post them on platforms like YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% facts. It does help to be on camera, but there are tons of channels where like literally people just have slideshows, pictures, stock video, and they just talk about stuff. So that definitely works. Let's move into the next topic. I wanted to kind of go over, which is the paid ads. That's kind of like the big thing that people always say it either works or doesn't work, and they want to know how to use that or how to leverage that in order to actually get people to buy your stuff. So there's a small little bit of psychology to it, and a lot of people, even myself, when I first started, kind of run into this situation. When you're trying to make, I would say one of the primary focuses of running paid ads is to target people who are in a cold audience to your business. So these people that you don't know, who've never heard of you before, because obviously you're trying to get more leads in order to scale your business. And that's one of the 4 ways in order for a company to scale your business. There's only 4. Increasing lead generation is the number one way to do it outside of the 4. And the second way, we'll only go over the 2 today because they're like the first 2. But the second way in order to scale your business is to increase lead conversion. And that's what I was saying, YouTube or even Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you want to use, those are all platforms that you can use to increase lead generation. But in order to do that, I wrote down some steps just to make sure I don't forget anything. So step number 1, a lot of the times, let's say you're creating a video for your business. So the first step you want to do, because obviously when people are on YouTube, they're either there to watch whatever video that they're trying to get to, whether they want to get educated, or maybe they're watching the highlights of an NBA game. I don't know, whatever, somebody's going to click. But the first thing you have to do is stop the person from either skipping or stop the person from scrolling, regardless if you're on Instagram or Facebook. And that's what we call the hook of your video, because you have to hook the person, literally stop them in their tracks. So let's say your channel is primarily about marketing and real estate, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's something for an example that might stop somebody in their tracks. I don't know if this is exactly the perfect way, but let's just say you're cooking a bowl of spaghetti and you're like, this is the best spaghetti in the world, but what's not as good as making this spaghetti right here. You can say something like applying for 10 houses and not getting into any of them, and then go from there. And then I think that kind of sets apart or potentially gain somebody's attention when they're trying to watch your ads. Now, I'm not saying go make a bowl of spaghetti, but I'm saying kind of open your mind and think outside of the box on what will potentially make you stop when you're trying to do something completely different. So people have to really take advantage and think about, some things that are going to capture someone's attention, which might be cooking the spaghetti, picking it up out of the pot and just throwing it out the wall, but then figuring out how to tie that, this mess of spaghetti on the wall into whatever that you're trying to lead into next. So that's step 1. Get that hook and stop. Well, I like to say stop the scroll and stop the skip, whichever, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, that's the scroll. Obviously YouTube, you just skip. Step number 2, this is the biggest problem that people run into when I would say second biggest problem. The third one's the third biggest problem. But the second biggest problem is that people, when they're trying to sell stuff to a cold audience, they'll always say something like, I can do this for you, or if you trust me, or if you go do this, then I'll help you get to this. For an example, you're trying to solve their problem by tell them how you're going to make their life better. Don't go to people that you don't know and say, hey, I can make your life better, because they don't know you and they're not going to trust you. And the equivalence of that would be something like, let's say like you're walking down the street, you're going to a basketball game, baseball game, whatever the case may be in your city. And then some guy's like, hey, like I've got $10,000 upstairs in my condo and I don't want it anymore. Do you want it? Like, if you want it, you can come. You don't know this guy at all. You know what I'm saying? Most people, I mean, it would take somebody who's just like, okay. I would say most people would not go take that deal. They were like, no, I don't know you, dude. Like, you're probably some serial killer or something like that. But I guarantee that the person who's like really, really struggling or something like that might consider it, but most people wouldn't do that deal. But let's say, Sarah, you're one of those people who would not go up to that guy's apartment and, get $10,000 for free, right? Now, let's say you say no to that guy and then you start walking and then there's a pothole that's 100 feet deep and then you fall into the pothole, but then you just catch yourself. That same guy can go and say, hey, do you want me to help you get up? You know what I'm saying? And you will be like, yeah, I want you to help me get up because I'm about to fall into a pothole that's 100 feet deep. I don't want to die. So what's the difference between those two situations? The first situation is you're not in a position of where you're in pain, right? You not accepting the $10,000 isn't really going to do anything for you. I mean, it might help you, but there's no need for you to go do that. If you're in a painful situation where I'm about to fall 100 feet into a pothole and die, you'll accept help from anybody because you're in a painful situation. So you have to, when making your video ads, you have to take that into consideration. And for an example, I like to say things like, instead of saying, you guys do real estate. So I'm just coming off the top of my head. So let's say, hey, my name is Sarah Touchstone. We will help you get into a house for $10,000, whatever the case may be, right? You're going to have a lot of struggles trying to get a cold audience into your funnel or your landing page. Instead, what you should say is, hey, I'm Sarah Touchstone. There are 7 things that prevent people from getting into their dream home. These are the 7 things that prevent people from getting into their dream homes. Or these are the 7 biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to find a home to buy, or the 7 biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to find a home to rent. Whatever the case may be, you want to deliver them from that painful situation instead of saying, this is what I'm going to do for you. So a good example, because I wrote it down. So you can say there are 7 key factors that prevent blank from blank.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting my pad of paper out right now, Sanchez.
That can all be like kind of switched around too. This isn't like the exact thing you have to do every single time. I'm just giving you one example. But I'm just telling you these things just to open your mind up a little bit and be creative with your messaging, because the message is going to be what gets people to convert or do what you want them to do. And that's something that people don't take very seriously when they're trying to run video ads. So yeah, just to go run over that one more time, deliver people from pain. An example would be, there are 7 key factors that prevent X from doing X. So there are 7 key factors that prevent business entrepreneurs from scaling their business to $20,000 or $40,000 or $100,000 a month. And then you can then say, if you want to learn how to do these 7 things, click the link at the bio, which takes us to step 3, which is a call to action. Tell the people, this is the third biggest thing.
Love call to action.
What to do. I can't tell you how many times like people will make a video ad and it's just like you don't tell people what to do. Like, tell them what to do, what's going to happen when they do it, and then I like to add something extra on there and give them something free of value as well. For an example, like let's say we've got 100 people on this call right now, right? And we're having this whole conversation. Like, I can treat this entire podcast conversation as if it were a video ad for me, right? For the 100 people who are watching, right? So I've educated people. I'm helping them solve their problems, delivering them from their marketing pains on, how you guys can avoid wasting money from, running ads and, doing all this type of stuff. Right. So then I can then say, okay, well, if anybody wants to get in touch with me, you can reach me here. By doing this, fill out this form. That's how you'll contact me. And then the first 10 people who contact me, I will give you an hour of consulting where I personally help you create like a YouTube plan or whatever the case may be in order to build your business, right? So that's another free added bonus of value. And now, and it doesn't have to be 10 people, it could be 30 people, whatever the case may be. And now that I've educated the customer or whatever, and I'm giving them that free thing of value or whatever the case may be for the customer. Now that puts me in a position to talk to 10, 20, 30 people. And I might only sell 2%, but if I'm making $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 off of one person, and I have 30 conversations, who's to say 1, 2, maybe 3 of those people won't be in that, won't be in that group of people. So yeah, that's pretty much step 3. Like I said, you have to tell people what to do. So for an example, let's say we're still on this real estate topic. You'll say, hey, if you want to learn the 7 things that are the 7 biggest mistakes that prevent people from getting into a house, click the button below. It'll take you to our website. You fill out the form and put in your information and watch the video explaining the 7 things that'll help you when you're in this situation. And if you guys do that, we'll give you a free gift of, I don't know what you guys could offer to a customer. Maybe like solar panels, like maybe you'll get 20% off of potential solar panels or something like that. I'm just going off the top of my head, but anything that you can do, or maybe even give them like priority on a list to 10 homes already. Like we have 10 homes that, we can pre-approve you for and get you, priority on those homes right now. If you guys do that, that's something that's maybe valuable to the customer that you have to, give them a little extra incentive to go and get their information. The key is you want to capture their email address, their phone number, and their name, because at that point you have more leads, right, that you can always go back to, and you can potentially turn them into a warm client and sell them more stuff eventually, which goes into other topics. So woo! All right. So that was that's pretty much how paid ads work. Did that all make sense too? Just to make sure we're all good. Okay, cool. So yeah, any questions about that at all, sir?
No, I mean, that was great. I mean, I love call to action. I think that point in itself, if you're not adding that call to action into your videos, your marketing, this goes even into like print marketing, email campaigns, text messages that you're sending to potential clients, phone calls that you're having with them. If you're leaving out that call to action, these people that you're dealing with, they are reaching out to you because you are the expert in this industry.
Yes.
If they could do it on their own, they wouldn't need a real estate agent. So always remember that it is important for you to tell them what the next step is. You are the one who knows what their next step is. So I love, even a phone call with a potential client, find out where they are and then line up that next step for them. And that goes the same with the videos. I mean, you got to, think that everybody that is watching your videos or sees your marketing as a real estate agent is a potential client, but they're going to rely on you to tell them what the next step is. And that's your call to action always. So I'm glad you highlighted that. I mean, you couldn't not highlight that. So
yeah, it's very important to make sure you do that. Just to add a little bonus on there too, like, I don't know how familiar people are with running ads on here, but you have to have your landing pages and all that type of stuff put together as well. When you create your landing pages, make sure it's exactly how you have it outlined in the ad. So if you say these are the 7 steps to do this, make sure your landing pages legit say that. Obviously have like who you are and more information about what you do, but it should all be modeled after the ad, just so it all flows together. So The last part, which is the organic, and this is my favorite part and the most important part that I always try to stress, and people sleep on this so much, is organic, building of an organic YouTube channel, or the power of organic marketing. You know how people will say like fast money brings fast problems, like that's the same way with when you're running paid ad. Yes, it's the quicker way to possibly get money, but you're going to run into quick problems from having to run ads. Maybe not in your business, but maybe just from running the ads on the platform in general. Like it's going to be quick problems that arise. Now, the same is true when you're creating an organic audience or doing organic marketing. It's a longer investment. It's not something where you run paid ads for a week and then you see a result in the next week or the next day or the next month, whatever you want to say. So I mentioned before, specifically with YouTube, people use YouTube to search for the problems that they want to solve. So people are on there and they're searching for things so people are on there for stuff that they're trying to search for or stuff that they're already watching. So as a business owner, when you're creating, and by organic content, I mean you creating YouTube videos every day, every other day, twice a week, whatever your schedule has to be. This is what an organic YouTube channel is. And you don't have to run paid ads. All you have to do is do your hashtags, your thumbnails, but you have to strategically think about how you can put your business in the conversation. Like I said, you want to be in that room where people are searching for, right? Because there's other business owners in there who do the same thing you do. If you're not in that room, then you're not making that money. You're not getting that person who might like Sarah, your personality versus Kevin's personality. Like let's say there's Kevin, there's Brian, there's Jamal, there's Tiffany, and then they're getting a million people who are talking about real estate in one room, and Sarah is not on YouTube. She's on Instagram playing around and some other place in the universe, you know what I'm saying, where maybe two people go to, but you want to put yourself in that room. So for an example, so if people are searching for how to rent a house, and these are just super basic search terms, but if people are searching for how to rent a house in X location, you want to position yourself by creating content that revolves around what people are searching. Or maybe even, for an example, people might be searching for the best homes to live in X location. So the best homes to live in Seattle, Washington, right? And you want to be posting content about not even just what people are searching for, but also where people are already congregating at. So let me see what's being watched already. I'm trying to connect it to real estate as much as I can. So let's say people are making videos about the top 5 or the top worst places to live or something like that. Are the top worst places to live in X location. You want to be making content that like your own review videos or your own how-to videos or whatever the case may be that flows into that traffic area. I'm not making much sense of it. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier. Let me say this. Okay. So when you're creating YouTube videos, there are certain videos that do the best. They're reaction videos, how-to videos, the best or worst videos, and then review videos. So let's just start off with those 4 types right there. So if you're a business owner, let's ask yourself, what can I review for my business that people are already searching for, right? So let's say we've got whatever you do is maybe you make cell phone cases, right? You can make review videos about cell phones, right? Like say the new iPhone or the new Samsung or the new Google Pixel's coming out. You can make review videos about that with your phone case on there and tie what you already do into what people are already searching for. And I was kind of struggling to do that with real estate. I'm like, what's the
a lot of times in real estate, these are figureheads of their community. So a lot of times we see videos that do great for reviews are local restaurants, local businesses, schools. If you can get in and interview, the local school principals and whatnot, these are the driving factors a lot of times when it comes to where people want to decide to live. What are the amenities? What are the schools like? And like, what is part of that community? Hiking trails. That's another one. Funny, here in Arizona that, like I said, it's usually, it revolves around the community and the amenities a lot of times for real estate agents.
Yeah. I'm glad you said the hiking trails. That's perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, that will be something that a lot of people are potentially searching for, right? So you as a business owner or real estate person, whatever, you may be, you want to look at that whatever's being searched and say, okay, how can I put what I'm doing in the area that people are searching for as far as hiking, right? Yeah. You can maybe say the best views or whatever on this hike, or the best homes that you can see while you're in the middle of this hike, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I'm just going off the top of the head. But hopefully that kind of gets your gears grinding on like how to create YouTube content. I'll say it one more time as far as the video topics that do really well are reaction videos. So you can react to other YouTubers who talk about real estate or like selling homes or whatever the case may be. Those would do really good because that's already somebody who's more established. And then you can then go in there and give your take on what they said, whether you agree, whether you disagree. And then if you use like their name and whatever it is in the title and description, I react. Who's like a big real estate guy in the real estate community?
Oh, like here in Phoenix, Seabach.
So let's say Seabach has a YouTube channel and he's talking about
he does.
the best and worst things about being a real estate agent, right? And then on YouTube, and then you can then make your own channel, Sarah, and then talk about reaction to Seabach's best and worst things about being a real estate agent. And let's say Seabach has 1 million subscribers. Like a portion of his subscribers will see you and say, oh, who's this person who's reacting to this guy that I look to? And then they'll go and watch your video. And maybe they like your personality, then maybe they don't, whatever the case may be. But you're still opening that door for people to come in and discover your channel to be able to sell your own service and build your own community.
That's a really interesting idea. I had not thought, we see this all the time, with like Reels, Instagram, and, it's people just watching other people's videos. Yeah. But that's a really interesting take for real estate instead of constantly trying to create your own content. Because this is what we talk about. Real estate agents, we talk about real estate 24/7. This is our all day, all night talk. So that's a really interesting take on making videos about what other agents are doing. And and it doesn't even have to be other agents. It could be, once again, we could go back to, local community things. You could take a video that one of your local restaurants has made and you could do a reaction video to that. So I like that idea.
Yeah. Reactions definitely help you build a following a lot more on really all social medias, but YouTube specifically, because YouTube is always trying to like push other people's content. Because even like if you watch somebody else's video and then go to someone else's video, like everybody eats from you watching multiple people's videos. So they're great to utilize. And then the how-to videos, obviously we kind of went over that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Best and worst videos, pretty much the same thing. Just talk about the best. You can say top 5 best things about X, or top 5 worst things about X, whatever the topic will be. And those also do really well. And then do a review video as well, where you just kind of cover a topic, a product, a service, whatever the case may be. It's kind of similar to a reaction video, but not necessarily.
Nice. Well, Sanchez, I think we are just about out of time.
Yep. That's the last point too. So
Hey, does anybody have any questions? I know that was a lot of information. Sanchez, could you put your contact information in the chat window in case anybody needs some time to mull over the information?
if I can find the.
And would like to reach out to you.
So I'm on my phone. I've never used Zoom on my phone before. My laptop, my computer's at my breakdance studio because I've been working there every day.
Of course, it's at your breakdance studio. That's where I keep my laptop too when I'm not using it in my breakdance studio.
What in the world? Wow.
Yeah, there should be. I think on the phone there's a bar across the bottom. It may be like the three little dots. If you click on that, I think the chat.
Okay, I see it. I see it.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to go over. We've only got a couple of classes coming up because we are into December. And as we know, December does get to be a little bit of a slow time. However, is it a slow time? Find out on Market Insights. Tomorrow we have Market Insights. This is our monthly market stats webinar. So Scott Kibbers from Armless, he's our vice chair at Armless, comes on and shares with us what is going on. Scott just texted me actually while we were on this webinar, and he said there are some fires out there right now in our real estate market. So if you want to find out what type of fires, join us tomorrow morning. It's at 9:30. And then we've got one more CE class coming up for you before the end of the year. This one's going to be on December 20th from 1 to 4 p.m. It's going to be a Zoom CE class. So if you would like to get one more CE credit from Landmark Title before the end of the year, please join us. And that's it for us today. Thank you, Sanchez, for that was great information. I always like I said, I geek out on this sort of stuff. So if I can use it for Landmark Title, you guys can use it for your real estate business. And thank you, of course, to our business development management team, Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Zach, Eric in Las Vegas, Michael, and Patty. You guys are awesome. We also have a new business development manager in our Prescott office. I'm going to have to get her thrown on this as well. Her name is Michelle, and she is amazing if you are in the Prescott area. And then, of course, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you great content like this every Wednesday at 10 a.m. There are 7 Landmark Title offices here in the Valley and 1 in Prescott to service all of your Arizona real estate needs. So please think of Landmark Title when you are working on that next contract, and we'd love to work with you. That's it for us today, guys. We will see you next week.